What's good, my people? I hope y'all are doing good, feeling good, thinking good. As you can see, your boy is still out here in Cuba. The beach is beautiful. The weather is beautiful. And I'm just taking this time to reflect. It's leading up to my 25th birthday, and I just wanted to kind of share the journey with you guys. A lot of you guys just know me either by singing or by my surgery and the weight loss route. But I just wanted to put out this video to tell my truth, to share how my life has been this far. For most of my life, I've been such a closed off person. I never share any personal details about myself. Always kept it strictly ministry. And then as I had the surgery, I thought, hey, why not share this journey with others so they could understand what I'm going through. And for those that are looking for someone before they do the surgery, I know before I got my surgery, I was watching YouTube all the time to get tips, tricks, all that type of stuff. And I didn't see anyone that looked like me, that was a man going through this process. So I said, yo, let me just record this and see what happens. So first I want to say thank y'all for coming along this journey with me. Not getting tired of my videos and all that stuff, and still watching and still supporting. I truly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's hop right into this video. So, where do I even start? Your boy was born on Tuesday, September the 15th, 1998, Scarborough, Gen. Born and raised in Scarborough, was there until the 5th grade. I was actually in French immersion. I still know a little bit of French. Out here, I've actually found some French friends, so they've been helping me with it. Mais ce n'est pas le plus bon, mais j'essaie beaucoup. Ma sœur, elle parle en français aussi. Pas ma frère, juste triche. But yeah, grew up in Scarborough, loved it. It was great. Struggled with French heavy when I was there, and right before I came to Ajax in the 5th grade, we're transitioning into English, and I just couldn't handle both of them. The English and the French was a little bit too much for me. So when we moved to Ajax, I went to an all-English school because my mom wanted me to get my English down. And that was a big struggle. So I guess that's where my first insecurity really built up as a child, of just feeling like I was stupid. I was like, started in French, I love it, but I sucked. Then I went over to English, and it's like, I suck at English and I speak English. This ain't making no sense. But anyways, went through elementary school, and by the time I was getting ready to graduate grade 8, I remember them calling in my parents to have a meeting to let them know that I have a learning disability, and to let them know that I probably wouldn't graduate high school, and I definitely couldn't do any post-secondary because I had such a struggle grasping information, from math to science to social studies to geography, right back to English. So that was really hard for me growing up because I felt like I didn't find my footing. Going through elementary school, I kind of found out that I could kind of sing, and I did like it. You know, growing up in church, everyone joins the children's choir, and from there, so I didn't really think any of it because everyone was in the children's choir. But then in school, people were like, oh, you could actually sing, and I was like, oh, maybe I could sing. And then once I started to tap into that, I realized that I had a super shaky voice. If you know any singing, in that term, it's called a vibrato. My vibrato was crazy, crazy, crazy. People at my church used to call me a billy goat because I couldn't control it. But at that point, probably grade 6, grade 7, I was like, I really like singing. I'm gonna start singing. So I sang in my school talent show and did all that jazz. And then going from grade 7 to grade 8, people started calling me gay because I was singing. So then that started another insecurity for me, because then I was like, yo, girls don't like me. They think I'm gay because I'm singing, and singing is a girl thing only. So at that point, I started praying for God to take away this gift from me. I was like, yo, this is a curse. No one likes me because I'm singing, and they think I'm gay because I'm singing. And I kind of went through that phase for like 2 years. Graduated, went to high school. Kind of got over that gay thing. I just realized that it was just a stupid elementary thing. Went to high school, did music in high school, and my vocal teacher realized that I had a crazy vibrato, and he's like, yo, I can't help you with that. So he took 2 years, almost every day after school, to help train me to control my vibrato. And because of that, I'm grateful to Mr. Azevedo for the rest of my life. Because without him, I wouldn't be where I am right here. Because even at my church, they didn't want me leading on like Sundays and those stuff because they just felt like I wasn't good enough and I didn't have no control. So at that time, I was only leading youth Fridays and sometimes Sunday nights, and that was probably like 2-3 years. And I was just like, will I ever be good enough to lead? And they're like, it's not that you're not good enough, it's just that your voice is so shaky and it's kind of distracting. And that's where I picked up social media and singing, where most of you guys know me from. That's when I got my own camera, got a little recording stuff, and I started just recording covers and putting it out there. And then people were like, oh my gosh, you can actually sing. And then from there is where it really built that gap of where I had to kind of prove myself to show that I could sing and minister. And then I was granted the opportunity to start leading at my church, where all you guys seen me. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was rough growing up because I felt like my voice was terrible. I couldn't get no solos when I was younger. I used to always want the solo and it was just given to someone else. But you live and you learn, and it grows you to be the person I am today. I think it's what gave me the tough skin, but I kind of took it too personally and became like an icebox. I remember one Sunday when I want to say like grade 9, maybe. It was a Christmas program and I got a solo, and I was so nervous because I felt like I missed out on so many solo opportunities, and now I got it. I got to make sure I nail it. And I forgot the lyrics, and I was up there and I froze. And the man played the intro maybe like 5-10 times. And I ran off the stage crying, and my mom came to me and she's like, you gotta stop this. You're too emotional. You're a man. Man up.
Man a man. Man must stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must behave like man. Man must take decision like man. Eh? You weak jellyback. Oh, Jesus have mercy. Me not deal with jellyback man. Me love man, we a man. We stand up like man. We talk like man. We act like man. We behave like man. Man a man.
I was just like, yo, you know what, you're right. And from that day I was like, no one's gonna see me cry. I ain't crying about anything. This is a waste of time, this is stupid. And from that day, I think my heart just froze. I didn't cry for anything. I didn't show any emotion. If the only emotion that I had was anger and happy. And when I got super angry, that's when the tears started to fall. So I was like, I can't be too angry because then I'm gonna come off soft again with that whole crying because I'm shedding a tear. And then fast forward, I graduated high school, thanks be to God. He helped me, and I did graduate high school. And then my parents were like, no, you're gonna go to college. And I was like, I don't know if I could do college because they said I shouldn't even graduate high school. So how the heck am I gonna graduate college? Like, that is so much harder. You're gonna waste your money to send me to college because I'm just gonna fail. And my mom's like, you don't gotta do anything big. Do a 2-year program. You need a post-secondary education. And at that time, my mom connected me with her stepbrother, who was in HVAC, and he was like, yo, it makes good money. It's a 2-year program. Get in it, knock it out, and then you could be making bank. And I was like, I want money. I got 2 years. Why the heck not? So I did that, and thanks be to God again, I graduated. And I was just in shock. Did I graduate with flying colors? Absolutely not. I just passed that, but it got my foot into the door in insurance, because when I was applying, post-secondary education was required, and at least I had that, and I got into insurance, and I had to do another exam for that. And I was like, God, this is my last exam. I ain't doing no more schooling. I ain't doing no more tests. If you just get me through this, I promise I'm good. And the passing grade for that test was 75, and your boy got a 75% on the dot. So God really worked out my future in that sense of, really trusting him. My mom used to send me to school every day saying I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me. And when I was younger, I felt like it was super redundant, but I've seen that scripture play out in my life so many times, because he really did fulfill his word through me, and I'm grateful for that. But on the other hand of life, I kind of dealt with anxiety all my life. I just felt anxious around people, and I guess it was first rooted of just not feeling good enough. From young, I kind of felt like I was a disappointment to my parents. And I know when they watch this, they're gonna be like, Trey, never that. And they never said anything to truly make me feel like I was a disappointment to them. But to my dad, I felt like I wasn't the son that he wanted, that he prayed for. I think that the only thing that I got that he prayed for was, the skill to sing or be musical. That's something that I know he really wanted, but I didn't look like him growing up my whole life. Everyone told me I looked like my mom. I was always a chubby kid growing up, and that insecurity just heightened when I started going to Jamaica, and I met all my cousins, and they were all fit. They all had the same body type. They looked like my dad. They would go to the beach every morning and run and work out and do all of that, and that was just something that I wasn't interested in, because first I was overweight, and I knew that I couldn't keep up with them. And I just saw how my dad's eyes lit up with them and the way that they looked up to my father. I was like, damn, I'm nothing like them. I look nothing like these guys. And that's kind of where my insecurity and anxiety came from, being around family. And then that kind of went into just being around people, because I just felt like I always had to do the most to fit in. And that's where I guess my big personality came from, because I wasn't attractive, so I had to have something for me. And my mom was always the extrovert, so I seen how she communicated with people and was always just like this big shining light. Anyone that knows my mom knows that she captivates a room. So I started to study her, and I was like, I need to have something. And obviously I can't look like my dad, but I can learn to have a personality like my mom. And through that, I became the fat, funny friend. That's what everyone knew me as. It's either you loved my voice and be like, man, I wanted to be with your voice, but not you. Or it was like, yo, you're super chill. We're best friends. So either way, I was in the friend zone almost all phases of my life because of my weight. But in grade 8, I think that was the first time I was met with depression and suicidal thoughts. I remember it was a couple of days before graduation, and I don't know if I had a half day or I just left school, or I don't know what it was, but I remember getting home early from school and just bawling, sitting in the couch, just crying my eyes out, because I was like, I have no future. Grade 8 is about to wrap up. They said I can't graduate high school. I can never do college. So what's the point? I don't have no purpose. My voice is mad shaky. Everyone's saying that I'm gay because I sing. And I remember having the knife in my hand and just saying, like, I need to just end it all. No one was home. Trish was at school. Manny was at school. Mom was at work. Dad was at work. And that was the first time the thought of killing myself came to play. But I just couldn't do it. I was like, to slit my throat, that seems so hard. I did slit my wrist with one strike, and that was pretty much it. I was like, I didn't like the cutting sensation, so I was like, there has to be another way. So I just sat there until it was time for me to pick up my brother from school, because we went to the same elementary school and I'd have to walk home with him. And I kind of just cried it out. And I didn't even understand that was depression and suicidal thoughts. I just thought, like, I didn't even know what I thought it was. I was just like, yo, I don't like my life. And I guess from that little mustard seed, it grew so much over time. And so through depression, I started overeating, and I started to gain a lot of weight as time progressed. And, I thought my father hated me more and more as I gained more and more weight. I can't even tell you how much times my parents have talked to me about, me eating till I die and just over consuming. And like, is this the way that you want to end your life? You're going to die so young because you're just eating yourself to death. But I had no other way of expressing myself because I didn't cry because I was overly emotional when I was young. I didn't know how to communicate properly. And then I just made everything into a joke. So if you know me, you know that laughing is my coping mechanism. I laugh and joke about everything, down to like the death of my grandparents. I couldn't even take it serious. Up to now, I really haven't cried for either one of them passing. I just made lightheart of it and laugh because that's all I knew how to do, because I don't cry. Which I know is not healthy, but it was just what I knew and the only way I knew how to, get through life. So fast forward a little bit later, graduating college and trying to jump into the work field. All of that kind of consumed me. Went to Jamaica, came back, got a job, was so grateful, and I'm still there now. But when depression and anxiety really came heavy again was about 3 to 5 years ago that they came to live with me. I feel like all the rest of my life, like it just visited, it came in waves. Sometimes I would feel anxious, sometimes I'd be depressed, but I never took on those words because it wasn't something that I was living with. It was just, I thought, I was just emotional today, or it's just an emotion that I'm facing, until it became an everyday thing. And I think, 3 to 5 years ago, it became an everyday thought of, I hate my life, I don't want to be here. I hate my life, I don't want to be here. And I struggled a lot with it because I'm a Christian. I shouldn't have these feelings. Depression and anxiety is something that we don't have because, God has given us a sound mind. He hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I grew up on those scriptures, but I was like, so why is this something that I can't relate to? Every day I wake up and I feel like my life is just not worth living. I don't feel accepted in my family. I don't feel accepted in my church. I don't feel accepted anywhere that I'm at. I just always felt missing. And growing up, I actually had a resentment towards my sister because I felt like she was the child that my dad always wanted. And then I was like, even worse because she was a girl. And so I was like, damn, she's like, if she was a boy, if she was like a second son, like before Manny, I would have been replaced so easily because I was so far from my father. But anyways, jumping back into it, where depression became like an everyday thing, I remember on my 22nd birthday, that's kind of when I started running away from my birthday. My family threw me a surprise birthday for my 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, all of them. I always run away because I didn't want anyone to see me. I hated celebrating my birthday. I hated anything to do with celebrating me because I felt like my life was not worth celebrating. I was just baggage that could sing. And the only reason why I had people around me was because I could sing, and I got lost in the gift and felt like I was useless beyond this voice. And I always battled with that because I was like, God forbid if I lose my voice, what else do I have? There's no other good purpose. And I felt like God felt the same way for me, that he only loved me and only cared for me because I said yes to him to use my voice as a tool. And outside of that, I was useless to him. There was no, I know he had unconditional love, but I was like, but if you look at the one with the one talent, he took it away, gave it to someone else, and he was like, damned. And I was like, I can't do that because I don't have anything else. And the only way that I can assure of God's love is if I use this. So I overcompensated with ministry. And I loved being used by the Lord and people receiving deliverance and doing all of that. But every time I finished singing and walked down those steps, the first thought that came to mind was, kill yourself. Every single time. And I know this might be a shock to you guys who's watched me grow up in ministry. But for the past 3 years, well, not including this year because I haven't sang at all this year or led this year, every time I would finish ministering and walk down those steps, the first thought I had was suicide in the house of the Lord. While after singing out my heart and crying out up there, I felt like the only place God met me was when I was ministering. And that was it. And no one knew. It's, growing up in church is so easy to play the role, so easy to play the part. You know what to do, you know how to put on a smile. And being Jamaican, you never let whatever's going on in your home come outside. So you just know how to tuck things away, put on a smile, wear a brave face, do what you gotta do and keep it pushing. And that's what I did until I started planning out my death. 25, I was planning to end it all. For the past 3 years, I wrote out how I was gonna do it. I was preparing to write my notes to give to my family. But the whole plan was to end it all by 25. I said, God, I give you until 25 to turn my life around. If you don't do it, I'm accepting hell as my home. Because I can't live another day on this earth. And 25 just seemed like the perfect time. So the past 3 to 5 years, that has been my goal, to end it on September 15, 2023. But I'm standing here right now with a different testimony, because God has really shown me his grace and his mercy this year. As you guys all know, I stepped away from ministry, just doing background vocals, because I really wanted to find my identity outside of singing. I said, God, if you truly love me as your word says, don't take away the gift, but I'm gonna put it on a pause so I can find you and your true love for me. And a lot of people didn't understand it, didn't get it. And thankfully I had the surgery, so I used that as a cover, that I can't sing because I'm still healing, which I am. I am still healing, but I definitely can still sing and possibly still could lead. But I knew I needed this time to really find the love of God for myself, because if I didn't, I definitely wouldn't be standing here today. And I know a lot of people think that, that suicidal thought left because I lost weight. And yeah, that's definitely a part of it, but it's not the whole thing. It's finding the love of God, that he loves me beyond my gift. And yeah, I lost a lot of friends, situations and relationships have changed, but it's changed for the better. And I'm still taking it day by day. I can say that I don't suffer with suicidal thoughts, but anxiety is definitely super real to me. I feel like it's a bit more now, because I can't do big groups. I can't do small talk. All of that is still a lot for me mentally, which I think is more so on the weight loss side of, just dealing with people and comments and the attention of people constantly watching me or, giving me compliments. It's something that I'm not used to. I'm still getting used to and trying to build up my own self-confidence and all that stuff. But I really wanted to make this video to share my testimony. I know I'm not fully through it all, but I'm not where I was 3-5 years ago, and I'm grateful that I'm able to stand here in Cuba and testify of the goodness of the Lord, and that I've found the love of Christ and still on that journey. So I don't feel like it's a one-day thing, it's an everyday thing where you continuously find the heart of God. And I've made a lot of mistakes, continuously make a lot of mistakes. But I found out that he loves me beyond all of that. And I'm more than just a voice to him. I might be a voice to people that they hear on a trending TikTok that is going around, or just a song leader that people love to hear. But to God, I'm his son. And I'm able to testify that Tremaine Dehaney is living. And I'll be living until God chooses to take me home. I ain't taking my life. And thinking of making this video made me scared, because I was like, yo, the devil's hearing you. He's gonna come hard at you with these thoughts again. But I know with Christ in my vessel, I can smile at the storm, and greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And I just wanted to take this time to let anyone know that you are important beyond your gifting, beyond what you can offer to people. But God loves you, for who he created you to be as an individual, as a person. Even when Adam and Eve ate of the fruit and God knew that they ate of it, he still came by and said, Adam, Adam, where are you? Still looking for him, even though he ate the fruit. And like you can see that throughout all scripture. If you go to David, the man after God's own heart, all these things, our faults and our failures and our gifting don't make us who we are. It's just a part of who we are. And that's something that I'm still learning. I'm still going through, but I'm just grateful. Like being on this trip just made me mad grateful for where I am, the journey that I'm on, learning to enjoy the journey and not just wait for the end result, because then when you get there, there's always going to be more for you to achieve and want to achieve. But I'm enjoying where I am right now. I'm grateful for all the blessings that I have. I'm grateful for life. I'm able to breathe and not think about jumping off a cliff or drowning or downing a whole bottle of pills, which was the plan, you know what I mean? But I'm here and I'm grateful. So yeah, I hope this brings you more insight to who I am as a person, as an individual. I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna have a lot of questions or gonna want to talk about it. And I guess that's what comes with me posting this on YouTube. But I really hope that this touches someone. That's the main reason why I'm doing all of my YouTube content, from the weight loss surgery to me singing to even me posting this. It's beyond me. And I know someone out there is probably struggling with the same thing or, different version of it, but can relate. I just want you to know that you are loved. And the word says your mother and father might forsake you, but he won't ever forsake us. And just hold on, keep pushing. It's a day-by-day thing, trust me. I'm learning that. I'm a guy that likes to look in the future 5-6 years from now, but I'm learning to also take it day by day and enjoy and live in the moment. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Your boy is almost at 1,500 subscribers, which is crazy. And yeah, God bless y'all.